Hello everyone. So today I want to show you this really simple exercise, really simple harmonic bass actually, that you can use as an exercise for speaking mode. So this is why I continue the speaking mode videos with this, but you can use it as an exercise for any improvisation that you want, because it's just a harmonic bass. But mainly I show this now to answer a question that I've got multiple times, which is, which harmonies should I pick? Right? And it seems to block people from improvising because you're afraid of making weird sounding things, which I completely understand. So in the first video about rhythms, I say, care about the rhythm, don't care about the notes. Yeah, it's frustrating because we want good sounding notes, right? If it was just rhythm, we would play a percussion instrument, but yeah, it's good to play a percussion instrument. No, but in the subsequent videos, I say, maybe relax this a little bit, and you can care about the melody. But this is why I started with speaking mode. You just care about one melody, and you try to sing this one melody, and not sing too much harmonically. Just sing your melody, right? So here it's not think just about the rhythm, but think about one melody. Don't think too much about harmony. So far, so good. But still, if you have one melody, whether you like it or not, there is going to be harmony, right? So the question is, what should you do as harmony? And it's very important that this doesn't block you when improvising and having fun. And so this is why I want to show you this cool harmonic bass. It's one of the first things I learned for improvisation, and it's very, very cool actually, because it's, I think, designed for improvisation. It's designed to play as a group of friends, because there's this short harmonic bass that you can repeat over and over again, and many people can join it in their instruments and have fun. So it goes like this, without further ado. By the way, there is something on the website, on my website, with this, so I put the link, if I'm not stupid, in the description below, and you have like the written notes, so if you can't see this, no worries. So it goes like this. It's very simple. But you can loop this. Okay, that's it, and you can improvise on this. So before we actually start improvising on this, let's see how it works. So let's start maybe harmonically. So if we really want to do harmonic analysis on this, how does it work? It's G minor, right? G minor. Then you go down, usually down, to D, so D major, then G minor again, okay, then F major, okay, and then this, I think, in English, I think is B flat, yeah, I'm not sure, this is B, but flat, I think, major, then F major. It's very symmetrically, and it's mainly inverting what you did. So you were this B flat, and then F major, G minor, D, and G again. So how does it work? Let's analyze this shortly. It starts with this. This is our friend and ultimate ally, the cadenza, right? It's if the G is the harmonic 1, the harmonic tonic, right? 1. Then D is the 5th, so 1, 5, 1. So we start with a cadenza. We start with a cadenza, and the purpose of this first one is to say I am in G, right? You say I am in G minor. This is clear. Then there's this opening thing. Right? We'll see how this works. So it opens up clearly. If you hear this, it's like sad, and then it opens and it closes back. Right? It's the way it works. But so we'll see the middle part. But the end, you have, and this is G. Sorry, not. This is another cadenza, and it's the closing one. It says, at the end I am back in G, and it also serves to loop the whole thing and make it very loopable, right? So far so good. So what's the middle part? The middle part is opening up in major, but how does it work? So if you want to look at it in a cold theoretical way, you say, this is G, right? G minor, I want to open it to a major thing. So the easiest major thing is the relative major, because you know every like C major has linked A minor. Why? Because they have the same how do you say this in English? The same armor. In French it's armor, but I don't know how it's in. They have the same like sharps and flats, at least for the natural minor mode. But the trick is it's three semitones. So if you were in G, it's going to be it's B major, the relative. So it's really not painful to go from and you see it's very natural to go from this to here and vice versa, like in the Folia. And so it's logical to do this. But of course, if you do, it's a bit brutal, right? It's like bam, major. So you could do something like this. But I mean, this arrives a bit brutally, so you want to go through something, and the best way to go through something is to do a cadenza here. But of course, if we want to arrive, as the cadenza arrives in this as the conclusion, this needs to be the harmonic one, right? The B flat, I think. So if you want to arrive here, you have to go from the fifth, but from this harmonic one, not G. So the fifth on this is the F major. So that's the cadenza for B. Right? So far so good. So it's actually you see, we think that in harmony it's like, oh my god, what can I do? I've like the cadenza. I know the cadenza and harmonic marches. What can I do with this in harmony? Well, you can do everything actually, because you just put many cadenzas in different tonalities together. That's harmony. No, I'm joking, but that's like, okay, cadenza in G, and then we do cadenza in B flat, and then you invert. You go back here. Okay, you can view this as this, and then you close back with your G. So far so good. But you see, it's a bit disappointing. And the reason it's disappointing is because it's fine. Like it's closed, it explains everything, and it's good. But what I would like is an explanation and a way of thinking that allows us to change, that allows us to make mistakes, that allows us to vary this. Because here it seems so mathematically okay. I do this, and then it's obvious it's the only solution, right? It's like a math equation, it's the only solution. But the way of thinking I want to mention is thinking melodically. So first we need the melody. So what's the kind of melody that would fit in the Folia? And you can turn this whole reasoning around and actually start with this, which I do in the blog. The melody, you can do several, but I think a natural one, because it's the one you hear often in Folias, is something like this. And then you loop. Of course, if you do it several times, maybe then you. I mean, it's not. This would be another possibility. Right, and you see what I did here is add counterpoint, and this is what I want to get at, which is that you can view this as simply a melody which I call like core notes on my website, but it's I think I use this and looped. So you start with these core notes and you put counterpoint. And so what would it do? So if we use this, we could do third, fifth, third, parallel movement, and then fifth and octave. A different way, no parallel movement, but a fifth. So you just add counterpoint to this. So how does the counterpoint work? There is a short explanation, but you'll see that this is the most easy, and there's no inventivity here. So it's not difficult to generate counterpoint. So the way you can view it is this is a third from below, this is a fifth from below, this is a third from below, this is a fifth from below, third, fifth, third, fifth. So it's like third, fifth, it's an algorithm. You can do this for every melody, and it usually works. Why does it work? Because thirds and fifths sound good. They sound harmonious. It's not like seconds or you know, they sound fine. So this is a really easy counterpoint, and you'll notice that it also encompasses the previous chords. This is you can view this as part of G minor. You can view this as part of F, D, sorry, G minor again. So in a way, the difficult thing in the harmony, which was this modulation to major. But here you see it's interesting because we don't see it as a difficulty because we just see third. We just see a fifth, then we see another third, and here we see a third. Minor third, major third. So you could have done this minor third. Right? But if you want just the sonority of a major third, you can also do it like this. So this counterpoint kind of explains, or at least can generate the same sounding thing, but why is it more flexible, right? Why do I think this is a more flexible way of seeing the follia? Well, the reason is you can change it, right? The harmony is harder to change, or at least harder to think about how to change it, but it's easy to change counterpoint. So because you just have to think about and play around with something that would sound good. So how, what could we do? Let's think. If you think melodically, first, if you're working melodically, I'm using the natural different modes. What I want to get at is this sounding thing, which I've heard in some folias. I don't recall if it's Handel or I don't remember. There's one where something like this, right? And the point is, if you think harmonically, again, it's like. The trick would be, I have this, I arrive at my F major, then I go do this, which is strange because you're in F. Why should you break the symmetry and do this fifth, the D? Sure, it's a cadenza, it. But if you just think about it melodically, it's just a note that's on the way. You see, it's a note de passage. If you want to, here I want to do. I could do a video on those, but it's if you want to go from here to here melodically, it's natural to think about just delaying one note, or if you have here, if you want to go from there to put it's right, and this even suggests a different harmony that we could try, because if we do this, what you can do is, instead of doing, you know, so when we're coming back, this is what we did before, and it was a, you know, it was this weird thing. You were here, and then you go here, and you do this cadenza. But what you could try also is, and this is this. So it's one of these cadenzas with the seventh, which is annoying to think about. You don't want to think about this. So it's much easier to just have the freedom of viewing it as you're here and you want to go here, right? Because the thing was, we have on the last parts of the folia, we have this F, we go back to D, and then we go to a D, and we do our simple cadenza, but you can ornament, right, by here, the way of thinking about this melodically is, this is just a melody that you can hear easily. Another possibility, or I think it's easier melodically, but okay, that's your prerogative. But what I want to show you is that you can't separate harmony and counterpoint, right? One comes from the other and vice versa. But I think it's easier to make mistakes and modifications to counterpoint in your head, which is why I think it's easier to see this side of the coin. A coin is not a good example because a coin has two sides, right? Clearly, but melody and counterpoint are not two sides of a coin. They're one and the same. But so here, you know, what could we modify in this folia? And then I'll try to improvise a little bit to show you some tricks that you could do. What could you modify? Because I said that's the whole point, you know, you look at the counterpoint because you can play with it. So, okay, so far so good. The counterpoint, well, I said harmony is like just a way of you know, of seeing more formally this counterpoint, but it spawns from the counterpoint. So maybe if we modify, if we do a different counterpoint at the start, maybe we have a different harmony, right? Probably. So let's try something different. So we had so far so good. Let's try something different. So I don't know. This is not very good, but let me make it clearer and actually exactly like I used on my blog. I wrote things and I don't even use it. It's let me take exactly the same phrase. It was the same idea. It was this. think about this more formally, just as our ears tell to us. This one sounds kind of majestic and fair. This one... No, sorry. It sounds much sadder, I think. It sounds much sadder, so we'll kind of see why. But first, it's also a simple counterpoint, because this is the third, this is a sixth before we had a fifth. A sixth, a third. I mean, I say sixth and thirds kind of interchangeably, but here it was kind of clearly a sixth. So there's nearly no fifths here, no fifths actually, maybe at the end. And so why is this sadder? So let's do it. It was this. Right. And if we think harmonically now, seeing what this what harmonies spawn from this counterpoint, it's right. It's so again 1 at the start, 1. And what is this? We have clearly something like this. Sorry about it, but it sounds sadder, and the reason is this is the 1, and this is something else. Before we had, remember, before I said we begin with the cadenza 1-5-1, which tells us I am in G. Now we have something similar, but it's not 1-5-1, it's 1-4. It's not a cadenza, really. It's 1-4-1, and so let's look at this 4. This is 1. Right. So I'm saying 1-4-1 for the left hand, because the left hand goes from G to this C minor. So it's 1-4-1. This is 1-4-1. But you see, interestingly, the melody note in the folia does not fit in the fourth, the fourth degree, not the fourth melodic fourth. Right? So before it fit perfectly in the 5, because A is part of D major, but here it does not fit in C minor. It's actually this mode, but so what we actually do have here is this more precisely. Instead of this, we mainly hear this. This is a strange sounding chord because of this. Because if you transpose this, tritone, which is why this chord is interesting. You know, you could view this in many ways, but at this chord there is kind of tension and stuff like this, and this tension comes from this. Tritones are supposed to be this not good thing, but they're very interesting. It's like seasoning. And so you have this. And so how does this work if we shift it? Seventh in the A. Pancras-Royer. Philippe Pancras-Royer, it's a very fun Baroque composer. He does stuff like this, it's very fun. But I diverge. Okay, I digress more like. So you have this, which is a seventh in A minor, and you can view this as a second. So, but it's also logical to view it as this fourth degree because recall that A and C are very close because they are the minor and major related things. So, it's kind of the same harmonics thing. If you have this minor C, even though it's major, major and minor A would be related, but here we have minor C and A minor seventh. Right, so this you can view as whatever you wish, either a C, or you can view it as this A7th thing. But you see, in just something as stupid as you can hide a lot of complexity, because if you just do this counterpoint, it's not clear. So right here, you can emphasize the chord that you want. If you really want this, this C, you can use it, and if you want more of this, you can use it as well. And so, why does it sound sadder than this? Sorry. Why does it sound sadder? It sounds sadder because you have 1, 5, 1, and then you go to this major, but you have a cadenza, clear cadenza. Here we have 1, 4, 1, 4. It's clearly a G. 4. Right? So there's no cadenza. It's 1, 4, maybe more accurately because of this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 4, and then you can do this. Note something else. If we do this counterpoint, you have the liberty to do this. And what is this? It's interesting because if you do this, it's totally ambiguous if you mean with this, which would be the same B flat major as before, so it still opens up in major. Right, you can do this. Or it could also still be a G minor and be like, oh, sorry. Much sadder because you never open up in major. So the reason this is sad is because first you have no cadenza, it's like stuck in this weird G oscillating between 1, 2, 1, 4, and 1, and then here if you do this, you never open up to major, so it's sad, and then it just goes back. So it's sad because it's staying stuck in this. In this place. Now it's interesting because here we have this, and here we have the same thing, but by doing this you leave things to the imagination of the person. It's not clear. If you meant this, if you just play B flat and D, it's if you mean this, or if you mean this, right? Or if you mean something even weirder. But so this counterpoint is interesting because it shows you that there is more flexibility if you have less notes that define the harmony, because they could be part of many chords. So yeah, I hope this is interesting. So by the way, oh yeah, let me show you something else. Recall that I said that you know, the easy way to see it is that you have this, and then you go to major via cadenza to the B flat major. So far so good. Another way to view this, which works for both counterpoint and harmony, is to say that in a minor mode, like this, so the minor mode with this note, not the natural. This is natural. I think it's called natural major, minor in English, but the one with this note, which is put up, you know, this is called the sensitive note, sensible, and this one is the painful one, right? If you hear Chopin, there's a place which is particularly painful, it's often that he's spamming this note, it's like, suffer, suffer, right? It's clearly this one which is annoying, right? So far so good. So what's the point? We wanted to start in minor and then go to some major sounding thing, or at least open it up a little bit. And so a good way of saying I'm opening things up is saying I'm resolving this super painful stuff. So we were in G minor, right? And this note, which is sharpened, is resolved to this. So if you take B major, the major variation of G minor, the major relative is this, you'll notice it has a flat F, and the G the natural G G doesn't sound so painful because it doesn't have this. And so, of course, if you want to escape from this, you explicitly say, now this annoying note is resolved to F flat, right? And then you play a little bit, right? And then you go back with your sensitive note again. So it's another alternative way of saying it. Instead of saying that I want to go to this B flat, you say, oh, I want to resolve this F sharp, right? And it's interesting because if you look at the counterpoint, now if you think, you know, again with the counterpoint, there are many ways you could solve this. You're not forced to go via F. Imagine doing something like this. So it would work. But of course it's weird harmonically, right? But it could work. So if you do... But you know what I want you to do. You see, it's interesting. say that, you know, by viewing things harmonically, you can find new stuff more, I think, than harmonically. Sorry, by viewing stuff melodically, you can find new stuff. Okay, so good. Now let's try to finally, I'm sorry about this long video, but I hope you can still find some interesting things in it. Let's show you the exercise. So the exercise is very simple. You have this harmonic bass. Right? And the goal is to improvise on this. And the interesting thing is that you can try to have different styles, right? So you can start with some sort of very simple harmonic improvisation, just saying what your follia is, and then maybe this would be speaking mode. Maybe again. I'm still doing, but with not the passage, right? So this is right. You don't have to think about I did a 7, I made this chord. No. This is just evident from the counterpoint sound of you. You were here, you want to go here, you do something. From ornamentation or something like this. So, okay, we had this. Maybe now let's play with the left hand, right? Such as like mechanical modes, and like more you know, more speedy and less singing things. Not very inspired with this, but you can usually it's made to show off the follia. So you know, usually it's like violins. You can do and of course, it's not because there is this harmonic bass that you can't still work your counterpoint. So you can do. Yeah, I think that's already way too long. Anyway, sorry for expanding and talking 10 times about the same stuff, but I've read too many Indian books recently where, you know, arguments are cyclical and you never end, which is great. I think it's a very nice way of explaining stuff, but it's not so concise for the YouTube format. So, sorry if this was too long. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions on this or other things. I'm not very timely in my answers, especially now. I've had to do some, you know, organization stuff by Zoom and stuff like this. Anyways, and yeah, if you have any problems with the blog, so normally yeah, I've done something a bit hacky, which should allow me to write music and have the sound automatically produced. So if it doesn't work, tell me. And if there's a correction, I should be able to easily fix it. So there's that. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll try to post more helpful videos soon. So yeah, take care, guys. Stay safe, and see you soon. Bye bye.